Whether the Galaxy Z Fold 2 was a success or not is kinda hard to say because on one hand, it did not sell anywhere near the S series, which is the Samsung flagship lineup, but on the other hand, everyone can agree that it brought the foldable back on track. It healed almost all the damages caused by the original Galaxy Fold and whatever this thing was. I've been using the Galaxy Z Fold 2 for the past 18 months now. So first thing first, durability wise, the phone has held up during my daily use perfectly. I have dropped the phone multiple times on the street, on the floor, and even after such a rough and careless use, the hinge, inside display and the overall folding mechanism has remained the same. So if you're still having concerns regarding the durability of a folding phone, especially the one from Samsung, I hope this one has given you a bit of an assurance. But this video is not a Galaxy Z Fold 2 long-term review. It's actually quite different. You see, the sale figure and reaction toward the Galaxy Z Fold 2 was paramount in bringing back Samsung vision for the foldable lineup. Not only the Galaxy Z Fold 2 showed the world that the foldables are not super fragile like glass that will break instantly with any impact, but the phone gave us a much needed breath of fresh air with something new and exciting, while at the same time adequately capable of handling the roughness of daily use, which the original Galaxy Fold was unable to do in its first attempt. That narrow outer display for quick access with one hand if you're in a hurry or just want to use the phone for simple tasks like scrolling up and down, taking pictures, sending or receiving the call and all that, and for other entertainment tasks where you want to remain hooked with the device for hours and hours, whether it's for playing games or watching videos or simply watching the content on social media. You got the access to the large and gorgeous inside display through one smooth motion of unfolding the device thanks to that awesome hinge. Even after 18 months of daily use, this hinge, folding and unfolding mechanism and everything is still an amazing experience that you can only understand if you have experienced it by yourself. Samsung deserve a lot of credit for what they did and what they went through for creating this entire foldable genre. You see, the nature of competition in the smartphone industry is absolutely brutal. Here, company release a successor every single year, sometimes every 6 months. So when a new smartphone is launched, its previous generation goes under the radar and lose all its spotlight on how good it was because of the new generation. So I felt very sad when Samsung launched the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and suddenly no one was talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 2. Now obviously the Galaxy Z Fold 2 was not as revolutionary as the original iPhone was because the Fold 2 inherited a lot of smartphone features that was already trending, such as edge-to-edge bezel-less high refresh rate display, punch-hole selfie camera instead of a notch or a bezel, advanced camera system and all that, and of course that folding display from its predecessor, the Galaxy Fold. But one thing that the Fold series absolutely nailed was the fact that it helped restore the interest and excitement in a mobile tech for majority of the tech lovers like me and eventually laid the proper foundation for the foldable market. And it wasn't like Samsung just one day randomly decided to make the Galaxy Fold. No. So it was back in January 2013 at CES when Samsung showed the prototype for a flexible plastic OLED display, which at the time they called it the YOM display. In that demonstration, they said one very interesting line.
Imagine the products you could design with this.
And fast forward November 2018 at the developer conference, Samsung finally showed a fully working folding phone. I also remember when I woke up the next morning and I watched the video of Justin showing both the inside and outside display while folding and unfolding it. I was like, I'm gonna buy that. So in February 2019 at the Galaxy Unpack event, Samsung officially unveiled the original Galaxy Fold, and by April 2019, majority of the big tech YouTubers were using the phone for testing, and if for some reason you're not aware, the inside display of almost every single Galaxy Fold broke. Some of them broke just after one day of normal use. This incident got massive attention in social media and eventually Samsung had to recall every single Galaxy Fold. When everything settled down, two major issues were identified. One reason was a plastic layer on the outside of the inside display, which everyone thought to be the screen protector, only to find that it was actually an important element of the display panel. And the second reason was the big gap between the hinge and the inside display through which the dust particles were entering the phone and eventually breaking the display. When the whole incident happened, everybody were blaming Samsung for having a design flaw, but most of them did not emphasize the fact that the display panel in itself was on point. Majority of the issue were because of the external factor and basically Samsung not testing the device in a real life scenario. It wasn't like the display panel was breaking on its own. But even then, when you make a device that's expensive, no matter how futuristic and awesome it is, that price will ultimately going to be a critic magnet and people will nitpick on every little detail, and that's absolutely fair. And when its main selling point becomes its weakest performer, then the end product will always going to be a negative one. But still, I was one of those people who had faith in Samsung even with all the negativity that came with the Galaxy Fold, because it was a long and a hard project where all these hurdles and issues were expected, as it was in January 2010 when Samsung showed the world their first flexible OLED display. So it's safe to say that Samsung has the idea of having a device where the display will have a flexible property more than a decade ago before the launch of the original Galaxy Fold. And because of that, I think it would have been extremely harsh if Samsung had to discontinue the plan for the Foldable series. To give you some context, a few weeks ago, Oppo released their first folding phone, the Oppo Find N. The phone in a way does not have a crease almost, and the outer display is much wider and usable than the Galaxy Fold. But that's not the point. The thing is, Oppo said it took them 4 years of making and working on a prototype to finally release their version of the folding phone. So right now Oppo has just started the Foldable series, whereas on the other hand, Samsung is on its way to release the 4th generation of the Galaxy Fold. So at this point, it's very easy to say that Samsung wasn't just ahead of everyone, they were way ahead of everyone, and yet people had the audacity to not only question them, but actually make fun of them. What I'm trying to say to this video is that no matter which company you support, as a tech fan, whenever a company releases an interesting product with a different form factor with some potential, we shouldn't just discourage them because of early hurdle. People did the same thing when Samsung launched their first Galaxy Note, and most of them still haven't learned their lesson. They don't understand that first gen products are never perfect and will never be because they are not tested on a global scale. So no matter how much research a company does, they will never be able to make a 100% prediction on how the mass consumer will react. Either it will be a massive success or a massive failure. I as a tech fan always get excited whenever a new smartphone with any form factor is launched, even though the excitement remains relatively short-lived, but the feeling is always there and will always be there. Samsung and the Galaxy Fold 2 got a lot of praise for how massive the improvements were over the previous generation, but I still believe the Galaxy Z Fold 2 deserve a lot more respect than what people gave. You see, the original Galaxy Fold made a lot of headline for all the wrong reasons and as a result did not sell that much. So the majority of people, including me, already questioning whether the tech is actually ready. It was absolutely imperative that Samsung hit the home run with the Galaxy Fold 2. I mean, if you think about it, the Galaxy Fold 2 was like a second chance for Samsung to convince people to buy the decade-long vision for the foldable market. And if the Fold 2 had done similar to the original Galaxy Fold, I think it would have been near impossible for Samsung to sell the record number of foldable that they have recently sold with the Fold 3 and Flip 3. And all the different foldable like the Huawei Mate X series, Xiaomi Mi Mix Fold, the latest one from Oppo, they have all come into existence to challenge the Galaxy Fold, which makes us consumer the ultimate winner as we now have different options to choose from. This variety of options for us consumer also put pressure on Samsung, as Ice Universe recently said, Samsung were ahead of everyone else when it comes to foldable, but the competition is now catching them, so they now have to deliver with the 4th iteration of the Galaxy Fold, which basically means high probability of another awesome tech from Samsung. And to make things even more exciting, we have yet to see a commercially available rollable phone. that create so many opportunity and potential for so many interesting and exciting devices in the coming future. Recently at CES, Samsung showcased a bunch of exciting foldable and rollable concepts. For me, the Galaxy Z Fold 2 is everything. It restored my excitement in a mobile tech and also proved to be a real-life inspiration that success do need hard work, patience, and resistance to survive, especially in such a brutal competition where sometimes there is no second chance. Imagine if Samsung had listened to all these people who did not have any idea how massive the foldable project was, and if they had ditched their decade-long planning for the foldable devices thanks to the original Galaxy Fold, we probably would have been stuck with the same boring glass sandwich design that we see everywhere. But thankfully Samsung didn't, because apparently a multi-billion-dollar company doesn't care that much about some people with a few thousand or million subscribers. So a massive thanks to Samsung for strongly believing in their ideas and giving us some of the futuristic devices that was only a dream a few years ago, aka the Foldables. That's been it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you guys soon.